I'm not allowed to reference the opening.
Nope.
It just has to be. It's not a cold open if I say it's a cold open.
Correct.
Okay. Dick Van Dyke was in the park the same day as us. And you know that.
Yeah.
At this point, you know that.
I do.
Everybody knows that Dick Van Dyke was in the park.
Not everybody.
A lot of people know that Dick Van Dyke was in Disneyland
On October 1st
and
of 2023.
we were there with him and we didn't know about it until we got home. We completely missed him. And just think, what if our podcast had been the Toot Sweet podcast and he'd been there?
Yeah, but then you know what he would have done?
What?
He would have said, well, that wasn't Disney.
Well, I mean, but we could have had chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. Oh, you pretty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. This could have been our theme song. And in chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, what we'll do near far in a motor car. Oh, what a happy time we'll spend. Bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, our fine four-fendered friend. Bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, our
that you?
four-fendered friend. I'm just saying it could have been a whole different thing.
I'm amazed. You're typically tone deaf, and that
was
sounded
really
okay.
Bad. That doesn't sound okay.
It sounded
I've had to listen to that,
okay.
Stu. I've been sitting on that for 2 months. It
For
sounds
2
terrible.
months, you've been preparing that?
Well, I didn't know Dick Van Dyke was going to be in the park.
To all Disney adults and morbidly curious casuals, we proudly present our spectacular festival pageant of theme park ramblings and peculiar opinions in thousands of seconds of average quality sounds of Mice and Matterhorns podcast.
So yeah, for the record, I generally don't like a cappella, and I am tone deaf.
And I am your hostess, Shannon.
Yeah, my name's Daniel, and this is Of Mice and Matterhorns, where we revel alongside and reveal the mystery of Disney adults. And we are doing another recap of our day.
Yes.
Last episode, we went over California Clash and Dash. Shannon won.
Yes. And that was September 30th on a Saturday. I won with 36 points. Daniel barely lost with 31. Close game. I only pulled ahead because I went and watched shows.
Yeah, and I lost because I waited in line to give a cast member a compliment. No good deed goes unpunished, I guess.
You had an ulterior motive.
I was really hoping
that.
they'd give me that honorary citizen of Disneyland pin, but they didn't.
Yeah, so that wasn't a no good deed goes unpunished.
They did.
They knew what you were doing.
I did get us a pin that says we're celebrating our podcast, so we can. I don't know.
Did you keep it?
Yeah, I got you one too.
Oh, great.
Before we get started, we do have an Apple review, an actual Apple review. So I'll go ahead and read that. If you could give us a rating on any of the podcast platforms, we would be very appreciative. Let us know if you do, and maybe we'll read it here. So Apple Podcast 5-star review. Favorite podcast. Oh my word, you both are hilarious. I also want to go to Disneyland with you guys. Please take me. That was from Chelsea BVDM. Thank you, Chelsea. And
thank you, Chelsea.
You have a free pin of Mice and Matterhorns pins on the way to thank you for that. Very exciting stuff. So today we're just doing another trip recap.
Don't make it sound so boring.
Today we're doing a trip recap. We're going to...
Yes. This was a day that we went into the parks together instead of separate, which is what we normally do. So I was much more in my comfort zone.
Yeah, we got to hang out with each other, which was, I'd say, pretty nice.
Yeah.
Personally.
So our hotel did not have any extra parking for us to leave our car there for the day. So we did not get to rope drop because I was actually looking at my sleep on my Fitbit app over the last couple of weeks. And I was like, wow, that week either my watch wasn't working or something. And then I realized, oh no, those were the days we were in Disneyland and at Downtown Disney. And it was like 4.5 hours of sleep one night, 5 hours the next night. And then the night that we came home, 3.5 hours.
Yeah, this is, for us, we're getting older, so that's a little bit more difficult. But we got a heck of a boost for our work step challenge.
We did, yes. So Steptober, no, what is it? Steptober?
It's got to be Steptober, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
Steptober is going on this month at work and I guess in other places too. So starting the month in Disneyland definitely helps.
Yeah, real shot in the arm. What hotel did we stay at? Because this is the first time we've stayed there.
That was at the Fairfield Inn. It was in the same parking lot as McDonald's on Harbor Boulevard. So it was a little bit further walk than we have done in the past, but not the furthest walk that we have done. And I really liked it.
Yeah.
The sink was separate from the shower and the toilet. I might have said it last time, but I really like that. The floors were the vinyl plank. So it's not like gross carpet that you're walking on.
A deceptively good ventilation in the bathroom was a plus.
Yes. There's a lot of room for organizing.
And with us having been spoiled with the Parkview Inn in the past, the walk was not nearly as bad as I was kind of expecting.
Yeah. Oh, they had water in the lobby, like a water station, so you could fill up your water bottle as you were leaving or coming back, which is really nice because then you don't have to buy a water bottle every single time. So I just bought one plastic water bottle and then filled it up.
Yeah, it was nice. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. And if you're a Costco member, I recommend using their travel services through their website because Fairfield Inn is how I booked that, and I booked the car, so I got a really nice discount. If you just book the Fairfield Inn, it's not as good of a discount, but if you book it with a flight or with a car, or if you book the hotel, flight, and car, it's a really good deal. So especially if you do it a bit in advance, because that one does book out or book up fairly quickly. So I think it's popular.
Yeah, it was nice. It's nice to try new hotels in that area and kind of compare and contrast it. Parkview is still my favorite. I'm interested to try the Alpine Inn.
Yes.
A little bit further walk, but it's got fake icicles on it, so that's a big plus for me.
Mm-hmm. And there's no parking fee. There was a parking, I think it was $20 or $25 a day to park at the Fairfield Inn. So that was in addition to what you pay through Costco.
How was it parking in the Mickey and Friends parking garage for the first time in probably 4 years?
It was really nice. Daniel was paying attention that there was a lane open that no one was going to. And so he just veered to the right. We got through what could have been a 30-minute wait in under 5 minutes.
And then even using the trams and going through security. I mean, I hated the trams before because the last time we did it, we had 2 strollers and 2 little kids.
Yes.
But doing it with just the 2 of us, it was not bad at all.
Yeah. And with the trams, for those that don't know, you do security before you get on the trams. So then you don't have to deal with the security at Downtown Disney. And we got to we were sitting in one of those awkward benches that faces somebody else. And so we were talking a little bit with them, and it was one of their birthdays.
Yeah.
So we told them to go to City Hall to make sure to get a button.
Okay. So we made it into the park. It was not rope drop, which means that we didn't get a head start on any of the particular lines. We probably would have ran straight to Haunted Mansion just because it's all decked out in its Nightmare Before Christmas display. Speaking of which, I was all decked out in my Haunted Mansion gear. I had my Loungefly backpack, Haunted Mansion backpack that you got me, and the hoodie that you got me, and I was wearing the hat too.
Yes.
I was all decked out in Haunted Mansion.
And then you were wearing, was it your Cake-worthy?
Yeah, I had
shirt?
my Cake-worthy Disney shirt with all the characters on it. I really like that one.
And I had an Old Navy shirt with pumpkins all over
great.
it. And turquoise Disney sweatshirt. And that said happiest place on earth on the back, and it has the castle. I thought it complemented my fall backpack. I have the fall Loungefly from last year, and it's the ombre orange. And sequins, which I don't love sequins on Loungeflies, it turns out, because they scratch your hand, but it looks great. And that's actually how I met the people on the prior day, was them complimenting my backpack. So, you know, sometimes the pain of scratching your hand is worth it.
Yeah. Mine, I don't know, is my backpack glow in the dark? I know my Loungefly. My Loungefly sweatshirt has the Foolish Mortals on the side on the wallpaper, and that glows in the dark, and there's eyes on it that glow in the dark. And my hat has glow in the dark eyes under the bill, but I don't.
I did not look at your backpack because other people that were, when we were standing in that, the stretching room in the Haunted Mansion, other people were commenting on your sweatshirt, but I didn't think to look at your backpack.
I'm glad that we did rope drop the day before and we could experience that franticness, but there is something to going at a more leisurely pace, walking into the park when things have already started. Like the pressure of getting to where we want to be right off the bat is gone. And so we could take it at a slower pace, which means we got to do one of my favorite things to do when we first get in the park, which is
go on a Main Street vehicle.
Ride a Main Street vehicle.
And we were on the fire truck.
We were on the fire truck. Walt's favorite truck. Walt Disney rode in that truck. Yeah, that was fun. We got to go on it, drive straight to the castle where we got off.
Took a picture.
Yep, we took a nice picture. The driver was handing out stickers to all the children, really hoping to get one, but I also didn't want to ask, and he didn't give it, so that's fine.
I'm glad you're not one of those Disney adults.
Whoa.
So then we went to Batu. This is something that we did in January is we went to Ronto Roasters and we got the Ronto wrap, the breakfast one. Did you get no, the cold brew place isn't open yet. So I got the Tatooine tea, which I absolutely love.
I picked up a cold brew at Red Rose Tavern.
That's right. So you did get the was it the cheesecake? Pumpkin cheesecake?
I think so. Now,
we do this little breakfast date at Batu, just below the Ronto Roasters. Like if you go down the steps, there is some tables kind of tucked before you go all the way down the steps. I think it's halfway. And there's about like 4 tables in there. It's not overly spacious, but it's just kind of tucked away and it's nice. You can hear the music that's playing throughout that land. And I just really like it.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's very relaxing, especially when we do it in the morning. The Ronto wraps for breakfast are very good. Let's paint a quick picture. Rontos are aliens in Star Wars. Apparently, if you go there, the whole Galaxy's Edge is very thematic. They're roasting a giant fake Ronto over a pod racer engine, and there's a droid that's cooking it. They are essentially the hot dogs of Galaxy's Edge. It is a sausage inside of a pita with shredded pork and coleslaw and some sort of spicy sauce. Normally, those are the normal Ronto roast
wraps.
The wraps. The breakfast is what? Egg, sausage, cheese.
And then peppercorn sauce, which I always get on the side.
In all of Disneyland, and Disneyland Resort, DCA too, it is the most consistently solid choice for a meal. Mm-hmm. It's fast, it's easy to eat, and it's filling, and it's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, I think they're like $12.
Yeah, it's a
a lot tasty. Of food.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you get it later in the day, it's sausage and pulled pork on it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you get the coleslaw.
My mouth is watering.
Too. So I like both the breakfast and a lunch dinner option. Mm-hmm. So we usually end up, since this was just a 2-day trip and short 2 days, not full 2 days, we did not end up there for the lunch dinner option. Mm-hmm. But I like I have not tried the Rontoless wrap though. So that is their vegetarian option. I have not tried that one. I have heard other people love it, so I might have to give it a try next time.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I had the Impossible shawarma for breakfast that one
time. Oh
yeah,
it was really good.
Shockingly good.
It did not taste like Impossible meat.
I would say in all of Disneyland, aside from Oga's, the Ronto Roasters is the most thematic restaurant. Like it's a quick service, like not sit down, not super nice, but it fits the area really well. You walk up to a counter, you're getting some weird alien meat, grab and go. I love it.
Yep. And then we went to the Red Rose Tavern because they had the grave stuff. So normally it's gray stuff, but it's grave stuff, and it has a little tombstone on it. And I think it just says R.I.P.
Was it delicious?
And then you got the pumpkin cheesecake cold brew.
Right.
How was that one?
It was good. Yeah, I would say it was about middle of the line in terms of cold brews at Disneyland, but I will drink any of the Disneyland cold brews at any point. We went straight back into Star Wars Land after that, right?
Yes, because we noticed that Rise of Resistance had no wait, or was it like 30-minute wait?
Well, I don't know what it said in the app. I know what it said when we got there.
So I can't remember. We were at Red Rose Tavern and we were trying to figure out where to go, and Rise had been down. And so we looked at what was around us for times, and we realized that Rise had gone back up. And I think it said 30 minutes. So we're like, it just went up. There's no way it's 30 minutes. So we booked it over there. Daniel started a timer.
No. So when we got there, it was at 55 minutes.
Is what it said up above.
It said 55 minute.
And we were like, let's just do it anyway.
Yeah, because it's my favorite ride there. It's pretty high on your list, right?
It is. Yeah, I would say it's my favorite ride.
Yeah, it's a bummer it goes down so frequently, and some of the effects they don't do anymore, but I love it. So yeah, we set a stopwatch just to see, and we got in within about 30 minutes. So posted time of 55 minutes, in about 30 minutes, which oddly enough, the day before, Monsters After Dark, Guardians of the Galaxy Monsters After Dark was listed as 55 minutes. I did the same thing. So I set a stopwatch and got in 30 minutes as well.
And I think we were to what's that room called?
The briefing room?
The briefing room. I think we were to the briefing room at like 22 minutes, if I remember.
Nuts.
So it was fast.
I like that Disney is making more immersive queues. Like even Mickey and Minnie's, their queue is not necessarily a show, but there's so much to see there. Mm-hmm. They're talking about Tiana's is supposed to have a really interactive queue as well. Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So I'm curious to see what that's going to look like next year. Yeah, for sure.
And we did get Genie Plus this day. That is the...
It was like the Fast Pass. This is what Max Pass was, Fast Pass.
Yep. So we had gotten the Genie Plus for Haunted Mansion. So after we got off Rise, then our time slot for Haunted Mansion arrived. So we headed over there. So Daniel was decked out in all of his Haunted Mansion gear. So we, of course, had to get a picture of him in front of the Haunted Mansion. So
I'm more of a fan of regular Haunted Mansion over the overlay, the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay. But it's been so long since I've seen it in person. I forgot how bonkers they go on it.
Mm-hmm.
They go all out with the decor and not just like it doesn't look like an overlay. It looks like that's the ride. It's really good. I'm really glad that I got to see it.
Yeah, some of the stuff, it's like, you look at it, you're like, how in the world did you fit that in here? I don't remember there being room for something like that. The angels in the cemetery were my favorite part. So you know how in like a nativity scene or like a Christmas scene, there's angels typically with the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the graveyard in the Haunted Mansion, there are these massive angel looking things with pumpkin heads, and the arms that are holding these trumpets up to the pumpkins' mouths are probably like the size of us. They're just enormous. And then there was one as like you're going into the tunnel to leave. It's like, looks like it's blowing the trumpet down on you in anger. And so it was just...
It's really well done.
Good.
I was listening to the Make It Magic podcast, and they talk about the Haunted Mansion in their latest episode. Apparently, all of the stuff for the overlay is kept inside the mansion year long. It's not kept off site. There's some sort of storage unit or storage place within the Haunted Mansion where they're able to keep all of the overlay, obviously, except for the gingerbread house that they make every year.
Well, yeah.
Oh, this is big news to me because they always we watch the special and they bring in
Daniel,
stuff.
There's 3 stories. There's a 3-story building on top of the ride.
It's like a whole new building they're keeping in there.
But there's a 3-story building on top of the ride that only has
Where
one elevator
keep all
in
that
it.
Stuff?
In the 3-story building. The ride is underground. You know that, right?
No, because the room stretches. It's magic.
It's an elevator.
It's not an elevator.
It's an elevator.
Is this room actually stretching?
Hold on. You didn't know.
I know it's an elevator.
Okay. I was like, oh.
You're ripping me out of the magic. I am still shocked that they're able to hold all that stuff within the show building.
I mean, when I tried to get on the ride the day before, the cast member tried to lead us back to like the back room of the Haunted Mansion. So I might have seen...
You just see a big empty warehouse
where they kept all the stuff, if we had walked just a little farther.
Next time, just keep going.
Oh, that's right. We went back to Critter Country. We went to Pooh Corner because we were trying to find you the Winnie the Pooh Crocs that are online, but they only go up to size, is it men's 9?
It's something that is not conducive to what I wear, unfortunately.
And so you have to buy Crocs in the park.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're like, okay, well, Winnie the Pooh Crocs, we haven't found them anywhere else. They will probably be in Pooh's Corner because that's where you found the Winnie the Pooh ears. So we go in there and ask. And they're like, we've never even heard of those.
Those have been advertised to me for at least a month, though. Like, it wasn't a brand new product.
Because
either.
They heard me talking about it.
Yeah, you just grabbed my phone.
So
Pooh Crocs, Pooh Crocs, Pooh Crocs.
We were disappointed in leaving Pooh Corner, and Winnie the Pooh was supposed to be coming in like 20 minutes, but the line was already like probably 20 people long. And I was like, I'm not waiting to meet a character.
I would have waited to go on the ride, but...
And I looked up, and there was Winnie the Pooh's house. I have no idea how I've never known that Winnie the Pooh's house was on top of Pooh's Corner.
With the Sanders sign.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
It was really neat.
It was neat for me to see a sign there because they had sort of the folksy decor, and there was a frog. Just not even IP or anything.
Just on the wall.
Yeah, just on the wall there was a frog sign that my mom had in her garden for years and years and years, the exact one, which was kind of fun. But we didn't really do anything in Critter Country other than
there's nothing to do in Critter Country.
There's the Winnie the Pooh ride. At this point, I think we started to get rained on.
So we somehow ended up back at the Red Rose Tavern. I don't remember what we were doing over there.
We were going to go to Mickey and Minnie's, and we were headed over there, and the downpour started happening.
So then we pulled off into the Red Rose Tavern because Daniela had a poncho and was nice enough to let me use it.
I'd packed my own poncho, and I would have never
hold
used
on. I packed the ponchos to California.
But I had it in my lounge flight.
And I gave it to you the day before, and I said, here, put this in your backpack. So
I
just
was so
to clarify,
prepared.
I don't know what I did with mine. I still did not find it when I unpacked my suitcase. So I think I must have taken it out and either put it in the hotel room
Pickpockets.
and not realize that I set it down. So thank
Left
you
it
for
as a
letting
tip
me
for the
use
hotel.
yours. Daniel was drenched by the time that we got to Runaway Railway. Their line is all inside. So it was really nice. Then we just got to go through the queue, look at the decor that they have there, which is just great because it references all the different Mickey and Minnie Mouse movies and shows, which I have not seen all of them. My favorite little setup is the one that references the Christmas one with Chip and Dale and Pluto.
Oh, with the
And with the little Santa hat and the beards.
I love all
that
the
one reference.
all the parody posters that they have at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Mickey and Minnie's is my favorite queue in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were in the very front of the train, which we haven't been
Mm-hmm.
in the past, and so we got to see things we didn't see before. I really like that ride. I think I like it more every time we go on it.
Yeah. I'm excited to take our kids because they have not been on that one yet.
We've been on it, what, 4 or 5 times?
Yeah, probably.
I think our youngest will especially get the biggest kick out of it, but I think they'll both really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll like the line too. Like even if we're standing and waiting a while, I think they'll really enjoy everything that's in there.
Right before it started raining, as we were headed back over to Runaway Railway, you had us pause so that you could take out your camera and take some fun pictures of the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, I actually brought my DSLR for the first time ever to Disneyland. I don't do a lot of photography, but I have this like $15 Holga lens that they call it like a toy lens. And it just takes pictures that sort of look a little more old timey. And so that was fun to get. And if you go to our Instagram at OfMiceandMatterhorns, I post some of the pictures there. I took some video footage of the Haunted Mansion as well. And you can kind of see how that looks. But it's like I said, it's like a $15 lens for DSLRs. You can get it on Amazon, but it was fun to do.
We had gotten park hopper tickets, which we had used the day before. So Daniel was pretty wet from the rain, and it was starting to get warm. So it was not supposed to rain on Sunday at all. It was supposed to rain Saturday. It never rained Saturday. It had a downpour on Sunday. Then it went to blue skies and like 75 degrees. So we ditched the sweatshirt in a locker and headed over to DCA, Disney's California Adventure, and grabbed lunch.
We didn't ride the trolley at all this time.
We didn't. We saw it when we were there, and you're like, do you want to ride it? And I was like, it looks full. And so we headed into the shops.
I rode it the day before. I didn't tell you this. When I was on the trolley, there was a family there, and they had very thick Australian accents, which was cool enough. But one of those big Chinese beetles, which the conductors were arguing whether or not it was a June bug. One of them was correct in saying it was not. He said that June bugs are the little orange ones, which, having grown up in California, yes, you're very familiar with June bugs. Anyway, one of those like metallic Chinese beetles flew in, and the poor dad was just like panicking and flinging it away. And the guy's, oh, don't worry, they won't hurt you. He's all, I'm not going to do the Australian accent, but he basically is like, oh, I'm sorry. When we don't know what a bug is in Australia, we get a little skittish. So it could kill us.
Yes, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I also didn't know that there were 2 trams that went at the same time.
Not always, but yes, there are 2.
Shocking.
Yep. So you wanted to eat at Aunt Cass Cafe. What did you grab to eat?
Well, let's see. For some reason in my notes, I don't remember this aspect, but I had a tummy ache is what it says. So I'm guessing I had a tummy ache, and I took some Pepto-Bismol, some chewables, and then after which point I immediately, let me check my notes, got a margarita, a cold brew, and a shrimp sandwich, and then drank some of your lemonade. So that's what I did for lunch.
How did that help with your tummy ache?
Actually, I felt great afterwards.
So were you just hungry?
I think I was just hungry. The shrimp sandwich I was really excited about because San Francisco is the new area that took over
the
Pacific Wharf. Yeah, it was sort of the San Francisco area. And so now it's modeled after Big Hero 6. Lots of Baymax stuff there, Aunt Cass's Cafe.
You can meet Baymax and Hero.
I didn't even see either of them my entire time there.
I saw Baymax the day before.
Did you give him a fist bump?
No, I just saw him. Oh. And I took a picture of him and the other person that stood in line for probably 45 minutes.
Yeah. The shrimp sandwich, a lot of the people that we watched on YouTube really liked the shrimp sandwich. Some of them saying it was like the best sandwich in Disneyland.
Yep.
I disagree. It was a fine sandwich. I would not get it over a number of different things, including the Pim Test Kitchen not so little chicken sandwich or whatever.
Well, that's the
called.
best chicken sandwich ever.
That's so good.
You can't compare it to that because that's the best thing you can get in the park.
I wish that I had gotten...
I disagree.
What?
With myself. That's not the best thing you can get in the park anymore. The flautas is.
Oh, you got those twice.
I got those twice. I got that on Saturday and on Sunday. So you wanted to eat at Aunt Cass Cafe. So we grabbed your food. We forgot to get that Baymax macaron.
I also forgot to get the Berea ramen, which it was a lot.
I was shocked at myself that we did not get that.
It was so crowded in San Francisco.
It was.
It was by far the most crowded place in either park in either the 2 days that we were there.
So we grabbed your food because there was absolutely no table, and we headed down to Paradise Garden Grill because the Coco show was going to be playing in a little bit. And so I wanted to get the flautas. There was plenty of tables down there. We brought your food. I got my food. We ate. You drank all your drinks.
And some of yours.
The honey lemonade, I think it was, that I got from Aunt Cass's Cafe, not worth the $7.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
At all. Or $6.
Popping boba was fine, but yeah, it was a bit pricey.
Yeah.
The cold brew I was going to mention here, enjoyable. It was a specialty caramel cold brew is what it was called, and it had a Baymax sticker. The Baymax sticker was the best part about it. It was a fine cold brew. I would pick almost any other one over it.
Oh, okay.
That being said, I would if it was a convenience thing and I was getting lunch there anyway, I'd probably just grab the cold brew.
And what about your margarita?
It was worth the $16. I don't know. It made my hurting feet feel better.
They did not card me for it. So I was a little disappointed that was at Rita's Turbine Blenders.
Probably thought you were buying it for your son.
And
handed it over.
They did not card me.
We saw the Coco show, which I had not seen before. You watched the day before. Oh, it was so good. I mean, one, I love Coco in general. Top tier Pixar movie for me. And I love the music. The storyteller was really good. We touched on this on the last episode. I loved it. Yeah. It was fun. I wish that I had eaten faster so that I could have gotten a better spot. It was really good.
There was a lot of people. The show that I went to the day before, it was kind of dusk, so it wasn't as busy of a show. So I did not expect the crowd that was there when we went that afternoon. But yeah, and it was a different storyteller. Both did a really great job. And Miguel, it was the same puppeteer. And I think the band was all the same. But yeah, they just do a phenomenal job.
It reminded me of like going to Santa Monica on 3rd Street and seeing street performers because it wasn't on a stage or anything. They had an area taped out sort of in the middle of this courtyard area. And so people were standing all around in a complete circle with this giant performance with a full mariachi band, puppeteers, ballet folklorico. All of it was super cool. I really, really enjoyed that.
We walked the back way from San Francisco to Cars.
Right.
And there was a cast member there with a camera. And so like, oh, they're doing photo shoot. And so we kind of standed back and we're like, okay, when these people are done, we'll get our photo. And the cast member just starts to walk off.
She didn't even ask us if we wanted our picture
Daniel's
taken.
like, oh, I really wanted a photo. And I was like, well, then go say something. And Daniel wouldn't.
I didn't want to bother her.
So I was like, excuse
me,
me,
be rude.
Can you please take our picture? And she's like, oh, of course. And so she took some very awkward, like prom pose pictures with the Cars backdrop behind us. And then we did get a couple nice ones. So
I wish you
was a thumbs up. Was that the awkward one?
I wish you'd let me post that one, but you said it was very unflattering of both of us.
Yeah.
My favorite picture that she took is she had us, and we've been married, 12 and a half years at this point?
Yeah.
She had us like back to back giving a thumbs up. It looks very much how I would imagine like two junior hires that both like each other but don't want to admit it would take a picture together. I love it. It's
well, maybe you can post it as part of this.
Okay, sounds good.
As a
big old thumbs up from two people that have been married over a decade.
But then we did get a really nice one because we both had our cool Loungefly backpacks on. And so I asked if she could take one of us from the back to show our backpacks.
That area, though, that is such a good backdrop for pictures because you've got Radiator Springs racers with all the mountain ranges behind it. I jokingly took that selfie of me with the cold brew behind it. It turned out great. Yeah. Like in terms of a backdrop. So that was really neat.
Then
we went to racers and we did single rider. So we didn't get on the same car, but we got in much, much, much faster than we would have if we'd done standby.
Yeah. So we were in line for Animation Academy for a little while. And I was like, I just really don't want to do this. Something about me is I can get overwhelmed by crowds. Like I don't like a lot of people in a space. Disneyland is something I have learned to manage, though. I put blinders on is what I call it, and I just see what I want to see. And I have trained my brain to do that so I can handle it. But I had just gotten to a point where I was like, I don't want to be with all these people in a room, and I don't feel like drawing. And so I headed out, and Daniel continued on to the animation
It was listed as
cafe.
Villains. Yeah.
What is it called?
Animation Academy.
There you go.
I wish it was a cafe. I love it. Like in that whole building, the animation building, Art of Animation building, is that what it's called?
I think so.
It's like the most relaxing place in the entire resort in the park for me. I love the ambiance in there, and I love all the different things you can do. And Animation Academy is the best, like, free souvenir you can do in either park. You go in and you've got a little 15-minute drawing lesson. Everyone gets a giant pad of paper, a pencil, and someone walks you through drawing a character. In this instance, we knew we were drawing a Disney villain. We didn't know who we were going to draw. We ended up drawing Lotso from Toy Story 3. So I'll post a picture of that. Maybe you can win it, because my Animation Academy drawings always end up pretty bad.
So in that building, especially in the summer, is great to go in there because it is air conditioned. So it is often somewhere we end up if we are there in the summer or on a warmer day in the fall or winter, just because it's air conditioned or if it's raining. But they've got the Animation Academy, Anna and Elsa's Royal Welcome. So you get to go meet them. I remember in our youngest, we took him for the first time. He loved Frozen, and I cannot remember what ride we took him on first, but it kind of scared him. Oh, no. That was the time that he went and met Darth Vader immediately.
That's right.
And so he was terrified. And so every character meet and greet, he was just like, what am I going to see? And so, but he saw Anna and Elsa in there and just melted. And so it's just, yeah. So that
both of our children have been traumatized by Siths.
And there's also Turtle Talk with Crush, which we haven't done.
We've never done that.
My nieces have done it and apparently loved it. So we're going to have to try that.
Yeah, let's put that on the list.
And Sorcerer's Workshop is in there. So you go through it and you answer. It's like this screened thing, and you answer some questions about yourself, and then it shows you who you are as a Disney character.
It's got a few different art things that you can do too, like the spinning.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
You can do not a charcoal press, but you can do some artsy fartsy stuff. It's pretty cool.
All right. And then while you were in there, I was sitting on a bench and I realized that I had not drank water like at all that day.
Maybe that's why you weren't feeling great in the building. You were completely dehydrated.
And the day before, I hadn't drank much either. So I headed to the churro cart on Buena Vista Street, which is the main street coming into the park. And they had what was called the Fluffernutter churro. Daniel had been talking about it for a few weeks. It has peanut butter. I'm not a huge fan of peanut butter, so I thought, hey, I'll get it for Daniel. The churros typically come with like 2 churros in a little dish. And then for this one, it had the marshmallow fluff, peanut butter, and chocolate chips. Mini chocolate chips, and I got a water. And so I was like, I'll just take a couple bites while I'm waiting for Daniel. I ate my entire half. It was so good.
Yeah.
I hope that is not a seasonal one. I hope that is one that they keep.
Everything about it was great. And this is one that Rope Drop and Park Hop, another podcast, Disney podcast that I listen to, they always talk about this. And that's why it was like at the top of my list, because like they keep talking about this.
So this is not a seasonal one?
Well, it had shown up for a while and then was gone, and they were really upset about that for a while. And then it came back, and so I know they're holding their breath for it to just be a staple, and I hope so too. Like in terms of the specialized churros, it's been my favorite.
It does say Willie's Churros seasonal offerings. So we'll have to watch. Okay, so then Daniel found me after that, and it was time for
us to part ways again.
So then it was time for Daniel to go on Guardians of the Galaxy,
Monsters After Dark,
ready. And Magic Happens Parade was going to be happening. And so we parted ways.
It was going to be a close call. And my hope was, since I had a lightning lane, I was going to go on it and run back to Disneyland to hit the parade to be able to see it. Because I had caught the last like half of it the day before, and it was really, really good. The problem was Monsters After Dark, I got in line and they announced that only 2 of the gantry lifts were running, which meant that everyone in the standby line had a 3-hour wait. And they weren't sure how long Lightning Lane was going to be. It dropped back down to 1 gantry lift. So there was only 1 out of 6 cars running. And then they ended up getting back up to 4, and then went back down to 2 again. All that being said, I got on it. It was fun. I enjoy that there is a Halloween overlay. I don't like it as much as the regular Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. And I saw almost the exact same amount of the parade as I did the day before. So
yeah, so Magic Happens. It just ended, I think, this last weekend, and it is done indefinitely.
Oh no!
But apparently, this is the parade that was running before the pandemic happened, and it's been running since February, I believe, 7.5 months. So I guess there are some things that were having some problems with the floats, but it was a really good parade. There was, I want to say 7 floats. I should have counted. I tried to film continuously, and apparently I don't know how to use my phone, so it ended up being individual videos. But we had Moana, a Coco float. There was a Frozen float, then Sword in the Stone, Tiana, Sleeping Beauty. I feel like I'm missing somebody. And then there was a Mickey Mouse one. I think I missed that. And I feel like I'm missing one other one.
So I didn't see the Moana or the Mickey Mouse, I think. So Mickey Mouse must have been at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mickey Mouse was the beginning. I had a perfect spot. So there was a stroller just sitting there, no one around it. So someone must have parked it there either to save their spot or something. There was no one around it. And so I was kind of like...
Was there a kid in it?
No, there was nothing in it. And so I was like, well, I'll just kind of stand by it. And if someone comes up, then I'll move. But people had left like this wide berth around it because I didn't want to stand next to someone's stroller. And I was like,
babies.
I don't mind standing next to an empty stroller. And so I got a really nice view of the parade. But it was a great parade. And it is on YouTube if you want to see the whole thing. Not on our channel or anything, but I know it's out there. Magic Happens.
It's fun. Merlin goes nuts with that music.
Yeah, the dancers. And yeah, Merlin is on a float, but he dances so crazily. And Merlin's supposed to be an old man. It's obviously not an old man dancing.
Guy must drink 3 Red Bulls before every parade.
And they do the parade twice a day. And I'm like, how does he do this twice a day, every day of the week? Mm-hmm. I mean, unless they have multiple people doing it. But anyway.
Out of what I saw, he was the most energetic for sure.
Oh, yeah. So the floats were really cool. The characters, lots of different characters. Yeah. And a lot of people walking too. It was... Kristoff was walking behind the Frozen float, like a
cart and a shovel.
A cart and a shovel, yeah. So I think he was kind of pretending. I don't know if it's supposed to be for ice or if he was pretending to pick up after Sven.
It looked like he was pretending to pick up after Sven.
Sven was on the back of the Frozen float, which I didn't realize that at first, and I did not understand the context.
Why he's got a shovel in.
Yeah, and I was like, why is he scraping the ground? And then I finally saw Sven as the float went around the corner. I was like, oh, okay. Because I was at the end of the parade route in the hopes that Daniel would be able to catch more of the parade. But you still got to see about half of it.
After that, we knocked off a big checklist on my list of things I wanted to do. And that was to try the garlic cheesy bread, which is a new snack at Edelweiss and apparently Maurice's Treats.
Yes.
Yeah, it was super good. Mm-hmm. It's a pretzel roll that they have slices through, and there's lots of garlic, butter, and cheese. It's about as good as it sounds. You can get marinara sauce on the side, which I wish we had, but I did not. And it was
so good without it, though.
Still delicious. Nice and soft and juicy and lots of garlic butter and lots of cheese.
Yep.
Salivating again.
Then we did a little bit of shopping. I don't think we got any more rides, and I'm trying to remember because we had to head back to the airport.
I have 2 rides listed that we went on before we hit the airport.
What did we go on?
Well, my notes are a little cramped here. I know I finally got the horchata cold brew. It was the first time I've ever eaten at Rancho del Zocalo.
We had Genie Plus, so we'd gotten... Thunder Mountain.
That's right.
Yes, I was able to get that because Daniel wanted to go on the Guardians of the Galaxy, which required Genie Plus, but then I had a Genie Plus that I wasn't using. So once a certain amount of time had passed, I was able to book a Thunder Mountain. So we ran over to Thunder Mountain after the parade, and then you got your horchata.
Then I got my horchata cold brew. Really enjoyed the horchata cold brew. It's been a while since I've had horchata, but it was essentially just, they filled half the cup up with horchata. I watched them do it. Half the cup up with just regular cold brew, and then they put whipped cream on top. And it was delightful.
And I do not recall our other ride. What is our other ride?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, we also
got
went
to go on Pirates of the Caribbean.
We also went on Astro Blasters.
We also went on Astro Blasters together at some point during the day.
I should have taken notes on this stuff, but honestly, I'd forgotten so much.
Yeah, well, it's been a while. We got to go back.
I needed to do what I did the first day is I took a picture of every single thing I did because I know my memory is not as great as it used to be. And on Sunday, I did not take a picture. So yes, we did do Pirates and we did Astro Blasters at some point.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, in terms of us just doing that for the rides, the nice thing about us having been fairly recently and going again fairly soon, like with this being a rush trip, the fact that I didn't feel like I had to do every single thing really made this day very leisurely. And I really, really liked that. Did we end the day with dinner?
We ended the day with dinner. So our flight was at like 8:50, but our airport was a little farther than we're used to traveling. And so we needed to leave the park no later than 6 o'clock.
Yeah. What airport was it?
Ontario.
Ontario Airport. Yeah. We've never done that again.
You hated it that much, huh?
I'm getting tired, I think. We've never done that again. Well, we've never done it before, and we'll never do it again. The airport was fine. It just was a little bit further than I liked.
Yeah, because then we could encounter more traffic, too. Whereas Santa Ana, you're so close that if you encounter traffic, it's not really a big deal. Encountering traffic on the way to Ontario did impact.
We made some poor choices, and I'm glad we made them without the kids. But the fact that we flew in to where we were like an hour away from Disneyland and then flew out of a place that was 2 hours away from our home really lengthened our travel day.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. But what did you get for dinner?
So I got what do they call it?
The grilled cheese, the Jolly Holiday combo or something?
No, what's the
macaron, the
No.
Mickey Mouse rose, the raspberry rose Mickey macaron?
No,
What are we talking about here?
the term people use for the original. OG.
The OG. I was close.
So I got the OG of Jolly Holiday, which is their grilled cheese with tomato soup, and it's good. It's a good classic.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing better than the grilled cheese and tomato soup is their specialty grilled cheeses that they have.
Yeah, and I'm dairy intolerant, so
It's
getting the grilled cheese is a stretch. It's like my max, so I'm always a little hesitant to do more than that. And then I also got the chimney sweep cold brew, which is good, and it's just really sweet, and I forget that. Even though I drank it the day before, it's just really, really sweet.
I must have been feeling the effects of the day, which I also didn't mention. I got Power Limes too at the,
Yes.
which is so Power Limes is a play on Power Line from the Goofy movie. And it was a fake candy that they had in line for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And they now sell it. And I love it. It's like a Laffy Taffy thing. But anyway, I must have been pretty full because I had a salad for dinner.
Yeah.
I just had some sort of, I don't even remember, strawberry vinaigrette salad.
Yeah. I had pecans.
Yeah,
I know that. Did it have
pecans.
meat?
No meat.
No meat, just pecans and cranberries.
Mm-hmm. It was a very delightful little salad.
And then I got a raspberry rose macaron. I ate the ears and I took the rest home because I thought our youngest son would want to eat some. Turns out I was wrong. He does not like raspberries.
So why did you bring me this?
He saw it in the fridge. He's like, "What is that?" I was like, "Well, I brought it from Disneyland." And he's like, "What's in it?"
Baymax one.
And I said, "Raspberries." I don't like raspberries. I was like, "Oh."
If you told him it was the Nutella Baymax one, he'd have been all over it.
Mom fail on that one.
That's it. I mean, we've kind of gone away, so we'll end it here. I think our next episode will either be talking about our next trip coming up, or we'll go back to another topical one. I read a post today online, and they were talking about Disney World, but I thought it'd be a fun topic for an episode is how to enjoy Disneyland as a non-Disney adult without kids. 'Cause someone was going during a family reunion, so they were going to Disney World, and they were wondering how they could possibly enjoy it. And I thought we could talk about that.
Oh, the food.
I think there's a lot of options there, and we that'd be fun. So we'll either pick a topic or we'll talk about our upcoming
Probably
trips.
both.
Maybe both. We'll have to see.
Yep.
Thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment and a rating on any podcast app that you can. We're on most social media at OfMiceandMatterhorns. You can find us there. Also, if you listen to us on Spotify, in the show notes, I'll put a link because I just found out you can leave a voicemail message for us through Spotify and we can play your voice on the podcast. I'm not sure how that works, but please give it a shot.
And you can be part of our podcast.
You can be
so
part
you
of the
just
podcast.
don't have to listen to us. You can hear yourself.
I'll just try to remember to put that link in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, have a Disney day.
Your attention, please. Of Mice and Matterhorns has now ended its normal operating episode. We thank you for your visit to our podcast and hope that the memories that you made will bring you back soon.